Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kate, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience and why I use an MMO mouse. If you're interested in learning more, please consider subscribing and liking this video, and click that notification bell. I post pretty regularly every Monday. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this video is going to be all about my reasons for switching to using an MMO mouse, what I like about it, the cons with it, and overall my thoughts and feelings. So to start, I've only been using an MMO mouse for about 6 months. I had a wrist surgery back in January, which I'll link the video for down below, and I was playing WoW very regularly. I was really into the Shadowlands expansion when it first came out. I was really working towards parsing. I was doing all of those more extreme MMO things. And I really wanted to keep playing because I knew I was going to have all this time off with surgery and it was going to keep me kind of sane, you know? I knew I wasn't going to be able to have really good function of my fingers. I wasn't going to be able to bend my wrist. And at the time when I was playing before January, I was very dependent on my keyboard, and I was thinking, how can I do this? So I did some research and I looked into some different mice, and I kind of settled on the fact that, an MMO mouse would be a really, really good idea for me. So I purchased the Corsair Scimitar RBG Elite. I believe it's available on Amazon and obviously through Corsair, but I chose this mouse in particular for a lot of reasons. The first thing that really drew me in was the price and the brand. I don't know why, but I really trust Corsair. I feel like they do very good, high quality gaming products, and in general, they have a very good reputation throughout the communities. So to me, that was very, very important. I don't know if a lot of people care about that, but I really liked it, especially because a lot of the reviews were very positive, very glowing. Whereas when I looked at reviews for other brands, they were like very hit or miss, very inconsistent. Some people loved their mice. Some people were like, I've gone through 3 of these in 4 months. I like the design, I like the function, but it doesn't hold up. And I was like, I don't want to mess around with that. The other reason why I chose the Corsair was due to the customizability of the mouse itself. So my mouse is extremely dirty right now, so please don't judge. It's all gamer sweat, it's all hard-earned, but there are ridges, so you would have your hand, normally. There are ridges all along this side that kind of fit your hand very well. There's a couple profile buttons here, so you can change your sensitivity, your DPI, as well as your profile. The scroll wheel is nice. The most important part to me was the fact that on the keypad itself, you see all this space here? You can unscrew it from the bottom and move this keypad back or as far forward as you need. So my hands are pretty little and having this keypad as far forward as possible so that I comfortably fit on my mouse is so, so nice. It is a bulkier size. So for comparison, sorry, my dog is outside. For comparison, we have this bad boy versus this bad boy, the Sensei. The Sensei is much slimmer. However, I really prefer the accessibility of the MMO mouse, and it is very ergonomic. I won't lie, your wrist isn't cranked all the way back. It's in a pretty neutral position, which is very, very nice. So we're already into the pros list. So other than being able to be adjusted to fit the size of your hand with the actual number pad itself, there's lots of ridges and textures as well, so you can always kind of tell, okay, I'm in the first line, okay, I'm in 1 to 3, 4 to 6, whatever it is. So that's really, really lovely. Sorry if you see the lighting change and things happening in the background. I'm dog sitting for my mom right now, and between him and the cat, they're kind of a mess. So I'm trying to make sure that my volume levels aren't going crazy. I'm trying to make sure that they're not getting at it. And I don't have my normal setup right now, so it's kind of all out of sorts, but please forgive me. Anyways, let's get back into the video, shall we? So I was saying, other than the ridging, the customizability of where you can have everything, how you can tell, which profile you're on and which button you're touching, things like that, I will say that this mouse, any MMO mouse in particular, I can vouch 110% that it is going to be so useful for every other game that you play. So whether that's Stardew Valley, Subnautica, anything like that, anything that has an option to bind more than 1 or 2 keys and you don't need to press, your keyboard for, fantastic. It has the ability to be customized in so many different ways. So Subnautica, instead of having to use my keyboard, I could just use my mouse, use WASD to move, and not have to worry about really, am I on the right button? Because I know for a fact. Did it switch over? I know for a fact that I pressed it. I personally think it is absolutely so versatile and so usable in so many other situations. 10 out of 10, really highly recommend. I do think that there are a bunch of games that play much better on a controller, So for example, in my personal experience, Dark Souls 3, Hollow Knight, games like that, I really prefer to play them with a controller, as to me they feel more natural, they feel really well suited that way. But I don't think that has anything to do with what kind of mouse you use. I really feel like that comes down to more game control. So let's get into some cons for my MMO mouse experience. So right off the bat, like I was saying beforehand, I had a wrist surgery. So I knew that it was going to be kind of something that I had to adjust to before this surgery so that I could adapt further once I had the surgery. So learning how to use an MMO mouse after you have bound everything from Q, E, R, T, G, F, C, X, Z, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, shift all of those, control all of those, onward, I found overwhelming to then move into one small package where I didn't know what button that was. How am I rebinding this? What order do I want my moves to be in? How, like for me, key mapping is the most overwhelming thing. With Final Fantasy XIV, that has definitely been something that I've been learning, if you guys didn't know, I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV right now over on Twitch. It is the best thing in my existence, and it's made even better with this mouse. But anyways, the key mapping is overwhelming. I unlocked Dancer, which is a level 60 class/job, and they throw all your 60 level moves at you. So suddenly, your bars are a mess, you have no idea what any of the moves do, and you're just expected to go out into the world and, learn how to play your class. So that is extremely overwhelming. However, it's made very simple with the mouse, and everything can be moved around, customized, easily switched up, and, depending on how you're comfortable using the keybinds, it is so intuitive and easy. So I know that we're supposed to be talking about cons or downsides, so I'll kind of veer away from that. Overall, it can be very overwhelming to relearn how to play an entire game just using a mouse. We'll say that. The key binding can be overwhelming at first, and just getting the hang of knowing what button you're touching, what key you are pressing, can be a lot. Another big deal right off the bat to me, which kind of threw me off from a few other choices of mice, was how expensive they can get. So I believe that this Corsair mouse that I purchased, I might have to double check on Amazon. I think I purchased it for like 89 bucks, $90 Canadian. And to me, that is a huge investment, especially because I was going to be off work. I was gonna just be playing video games. I didn't want to spend an unreasonable amount of money. However, when I price checked for value on other brands, it seemed like a pretty average price without compromising quality, whereas there were some mice out there. Sorry, again, had to get up, feeding the dog. If you hear him in the background, he's just munching away. Where was I going with this? Oh, we were talking about price. So, like I was saying, I do feel like my option of the scimitar was really good for value and price. However, there are so many brands out there that were so much more expensive, and to me, I didn't really see a huge difference. I also don't care too much about having the craziest DPI variances or, being able to like flick my wrist or anything like that. Like, I'm not a huge FPS player, so to me, that didn't matter so much. What mattered to me was the fact that it was gonna work, it was gonna work well, and it was gonna work for a long time. So I wanted value as well as quality. So now let's get into the last con on my list, and that is, if you take my MMO mouse away from me, I'm lost. I no longer know how to play this game. I don't know how to use my keyboard to, well, I shouldn't say that, but if you took my mouse away, I would be peeved. I would be so upset. Having to rebind to my keyboard seems like such a hassle now, seems like such a but, you know, what do you mean I gotta move my hand all the way over here? What do you mean I have to do this and press shift at the same time? Also, I still have a bit of mobility issue with my wrist and my hand. So if you were to take my MMO mouse away, I would be very, very highly compromised on what, you know, level of play I feel I would be able to achieve. I don't feel like I would be as comfortable anymore. I do feel like that is something that is a personal problem, you know, maybe it would be different. However, I think that that is my problem. I think that I would need to practice how to use my keyboard again and how to bind efficiently to my keyboard again. However, I feel like I am much more efficient with my MMO mouse. I feel like it applies to so many different situations, and not having it would be very debilitating for me. So, in conclusion, 10 out of 10 would I recommend getting an MMO mouse if you've been thinking about it. If you've been, maybe I could use this in multiple situations. Yes, you can. Maybe I would like to bind all of my buttons, up to 36 combinations. Yes, you can. Depending on the mouse, of course. However, I cannot rave about this mouse enough. I find that it is extremely helpful. I love it. I think it's ergonomic. I've not had any issues with it thus far. And like I said, I would be very hesitant to try anything else. For example, Final Fantasy XIV, a lot of players really prefer to use a controller, and they feel that the game runs very well on controller as it was made for a console. However, I don't even want to try. I feel like I have all of my binds down to a T. I feel like I have so much control with my mouse, and I feel like with switching jobs, it is actually so simple. As well, like I was saying before, if I wanted to play Stardew Valley, you can just, you know, everything's already bound to 1 to 9, so you just scroll through that. I actually think it's 1 to 12, but you know what I'm saying. It's very simple to set up. It's very easy to get used to. I think overall it might have taken me about a week of good practice to actually get comfortable with it when I was playing World of Warcraft back in the day. However, the translation for further games, future games, has been so seamless. This is, of course, my personal opinion. You guys let me know down below if you have any questions, comments, anything that way. Like I said before, if you liked this video, please subscribe. If you wouldn't mind, please like the video and turn on your notifications for the channel. It helps me out immensely. I also stream 5 to 6 days a week right now on Twitch over at twitch.tv/Kate_plays. And right now I am playing a variety of different games, aka only Final Fantasy XIV, because I am fully addicted. And like I said, if you guys have anything you would like to add on, please comment down below. And otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope this video was very informative and gave you some ideas about, if you're considering an MMO mouse, what to think about and what to consider. Have a wonderful rest of your day, you guys. Thank you so very much for joining me. Bye!